If you want to know how to get rid of your body dysmorphia once and for all, then keep watching this video because we're going to break down the 3 phases of body dysmorphia and how each one of these, depending on where you're at, requires a different solution. Now, for those of you that are new here, my name is Tom Hobbs and I work as a body dysmorphia mentor. I basically combine fitness, mental health, and personal growth to help people achieve their dream bodies whilst also shifting their internal framework so you can actually keep these bodies and live your best damn life. And I suffered with body dysmorphia for most of my life until about 3 or 4 years ago. And I, maybe like you, tried absolutely everything to build a body that I loved, that made me feel confident, and that didn't impact my life anymore, right? These insecurities that I used to have in my body, not feeling good enough, not feeling capable, not feeling attractive, used to really run my life. And no matter what I did, nothing ever seemed to work. I went from 80 kilos, I think 82 kilos at my lowest, all the way up to 115 kilos at my heaviest, and nowhere in that spectrum was I ever happy. And I looked around for different body dysmorphia solutions, and what I found was either one of 2 things. It was either the fitness industry approach, which was basically, here's your program, here are your calories, lose weight, build muscle, and actually change your body. And that was all well and good, but I'd find myself self-sabotaging. I'd find myself never being happy no matter how much I changed. And I'd find myself getting really frustrated if I ever fell off track and if I wasn't perfect, which resulted in my body not ever really changing to the level that I wanted it to. And then the other approach is more of the mental health kind of approach, which treats body dysmorphia as a mental health condition. And if you actually look it up on Google, it tells you that it is lifelong and that it is uncurable, basically. And for me, that didn't really fly, right? And I remember reading that and talking to people about it who basically told me the same thing, and that made me feel really yuck. And all that they told me to do and their solutions was to basically talk about it, was basically to sit into body positivity, self-acceptance, learn how to love myself more. And again, that has merit and had merit for me, but it still didn't change the fact that I didn't like my body, and it really felt like it was a band-aid fix, right? Yeah, maybe I felt a little bit better. I did love myself a little bit more, and I found worth outside of just my physical appearance. But at the end of the day, I had these physical desires. I wanted to look good, I wanted to look strong, and I wanted to be actually proud of what I saw and not have to rely on affirmations to do so. And that led me down a rabbit hole of finding my own solution, which is sort of where I sit today, completely free of body dysmorphia, in the best physical and mental shape of my life, and now with an understanding on how to actually help others do the same. And in my experience, I found that there are 3 phases of body dysmorphia that we sort of have to go through, each which require a different solution, right? So the first phase is where I was, for most of my life, which is really in the thick of body dysmorphia. And as I said, this is where your body image, your confidence or lack thereof is impacting every area of your life. You just don't feel good in your skin. You don't feel comfortable. You don't feel confident. You don't feel worthy of attracting a beautiful woman or a really handsome, good-looking bloke. And everything sort of comes back to your body and how you feel in it. And now when you're in this state, yes, obviously you want to change your body, lose weight, build muscle so you look better physically. But what I didn't understand for so long, that I now help others to understand and work through so they can save themselves a lot of time, is that the body dysmorphia is actually there for a reason. And it is operating off a slightly negatively skewed internal framework that we have going on inside, where we are essentially creating results in our external world from a limiting belief or limiting story. So for me, that was the fact that I was never going to be good enough, that I could never change my body, that I wasn't capable, that I was always the bigger guy, because I suffered with gynecomastia, which is essentially excess fat around your chest as a bloke, man boobs basically. I would have people tell me I had bigger boobs than my clients, just really, really nice stuff. And at that point, that was the story that I was living by. Now, how our internal framework actually works, and I'm going to do a video where I dive into this in a lot more detail, and I've spoken about this on my Instagram a little bit. But we essentially have our beliefs and stories, which then impact how we think throughout the day. So the general sum of our thoughts, which then impact how we feel and the emotions that we have, which then impacts the actions we take or don't take, and our behavior, which then leads to our results. So where people go wrong is they only ever look at their actions and their results, thinking that that is what is actually causing them to feel bad, which is causing them to think negatively, which is then making them feel not good enough. But it's actually the other way around. And this is where we can find the root cause cause of our body dysmorphia and why we are where we are. And this took me so long to understand and realize, and this is why for so many people, nothing ever changes and nothing is sustainable, because they haven't actually found the root cause of their issues and why this body dysmorphia is actually there and serving a purpose. Because at the end of the day, body dysmorphia is confirming a limiting belief or story that you have about yourself. And the most common ones are, I'm not good enough, I'm a failure, I'm not worthy of X, Y, Z, right? I have to be perfect to be successful, and this can then impact your consistency with your training and nutrition. But that body dysmorphia is there. The insecurities in your body are there. This not feeling good enough is there to actually confirm to yourself the belief that you hold, which is like your overarching core program. And this is why so many people struggle, because they're still acting from that place because they don't know it's there. They don't know that that's what's pulling the strings. And then they're trying to change programs, change coaches, change meal plans, and nothing ever works, because at the end of the day, their actions, how they think and how they feel, are a result of these stories which they're not aware of, which then impacts their ability to execute the things they need to do to change their body, right? And it can also skew our perception of ourselves and make us pick up our flaws and the things we don't like, rather than see our progress and actually ever feel proud. And this is something, again, I experienced because, as I said, I had a sort of 30 to 40 kilo weight range there, and I was never happy with what I saw. And that was because my perception was being skewed by this story I was telling myself in my head. So when you're in this place, the work initially is to actually go through this internal framework, to start to shift these limiting beliefs, to start to make a different decision about your body and what is possible for you. Because at the end of the day, our beliefs are simply decisions we have made, and quite often we have unconsciously made decisions that this is just how it's going to be. This is the body I'm going to be in. I'm just going to have to try and love it for what it is. And that couldn't be further from the truth. And it's also incredibly toxic and very, it's self-gaslighting, right? It's convincing ourselves that this is as good as it gets. This is what we need to accept, but that actually only makes things worse. So that's phase one, to get yourself out of the real thick of the body dysmorphia and actually change your internal framework so you can build the body and keep it. Now, the second phase is, this is once you have cleared your limiting beliefs, or you know how to do that, you know how to reframe your mind, you know when you're slipping into more of a fight or flight state, so into this real negative headspace where stress, overwhelm, anxiety, depression, comparison, frustration, guilt, these kind of emotions arise. And you know how to get yourself out of that and back into a really empowered state. So now your mindset and your inner world is really dialed in. You no longer feel limited. You no longer think that this is how it's going to be. And for once, you actually have built the self-belief and trust within yourself that you can change this, and a better life, a better body, better relationships, all these things you want are actually possible, right? So once you're in this place, then I am just massive on people going through a 8 to 16 week period where their entire focus and priority is on their body and building their best body that they have ever seen, getting into the best shape of their lives. And this is going to come with some sacrifice, but I think it is vital to overcome this body dysmorphia, that we don't just change our mindset around it. We don't just love ourselves for how we are. We don't just feel good on the inside, but we actually see a body that we genuinely love, that we don't need to convince ourselves that we love, that we look in the mirror and we feel it's just super confident. We feel like we look sexy, we look strong, and we feel really, really attractive and great in our own skin. And this is also great because it allows us to bring our true desires to the surface, right? There are no such thing as being too surface level, right? We all have these wants and needs for our body. We all want to look a certain way. It's just whether we actually allow ourselves to feel those and act on those. So really committing to and dialing in your training and nutrition to either, if it's weight you need to lose or muscle you need to put on, whatever it is for you, committing to getting in the best physical shape of your life. So yeah, as I said, you don't have to convince yourself that you love your body anymore. And this has been huge for me, because since I've broken my body dysmorphia and changed that internal framework, as I do with my clients, my transformation and my actual training and nutrition and being consistent with it is so effortless, because I now have a mindset that actually allows me to do it. And I am down at the moment nearly 10 kilos, and it has been the easiest, most effortless transformation that I've ever been a part of. And I put this down to how my internal framework is now set up, that I've actually let go of the body dysmorphia. I've replaced it. I'm fully believing in myself. I'm confident in myself. And I know that this body that I'm working to is inevitable. So once you've done that, you get to move on to phase 3. So now you're in a place where your mindset is incredible. Your internal framework is super dialed in and aligned to where you want to go. And now you actually have a body that you love, and you're in the best shape of your life, which means you are now onto the phase where you get to go and build your dream life as the best version of yourself. And this is where I really encourage people to dream big. Like, what do you want? Put all your desires and your dreams out there on the table. The exact kind of relationship you want, the kind of money you want to make, the job you want to do, the amount of freedom and travel you want to do, the kind of feelings and emotions you want day to day, right? People you want to surround yourself with, whatever it is for you that you've been putting off or holding yourself back because you're so full of these limitations of your mind and your body, it's time to put these out there, because now you have the tools to actually go out there and create it. Because not only do you have the mindset and the thinking and the feeling, but you've just proven to yourself what you are capable of. If you can overcome your body dysmorphia, overcome these insecurities to be in the shape you're in physically and mentally, when so many other people can't do that, then you're putting yourself in this 1% of people that are able to go out and create lives that people would kill for, right? And you can only see that you are capable of this once you've gone through these first 2 phases. And guys, once you go through this, once you actually understand how to implement all this properly, your life will never be the same. And it'll make so much sense as to why you were where you were. And it'll also just make you laugh at the fact that people say that body dysmorphia is incurable. It's like, it's not incurable, but we just look at things too simply, right? We either have the fitness industry approach, which is just the body, or we just have the mental health approach, which is basically body positivity and self-acceptance, both of which on their own are not good, are not the solution, and can also be really, really detrimental. All right, guys, so if you've got any questions, you want to know more about this, then either drop a comment or head over to my Instagram, send me a message on there. My Instagram's at Coach Tom Hobbs, and yeah, reach out to me. Like, this is what I do. At the moment, I'm only taking people on one-on-one through my private mentoring, and I only take on 8 to 10 people at a time, because I want to give my all to the people that I'm working with, and I don't really like working with a high volume of people. I want to work with high caliber individuals that want to go through this entire process and do things properly. And when you do that, when you commit to that, your life will never be the same. Your body dysmorphia will be a thing of the past. You'll be in the best physical and mental shape of your life, and it'll be a whole new world, which is exactly what I've been able to experience throughout this journey as well. So thank you guys for watching this video. Chuck us a like, subscribe if you haven't already. There are a bunch of other really good videos and content on this channel, and we'll see you in the next one.